What would you do if a devastating storm trapped your neighbors, your friends, and even strangers in a rising flood, with no help in sight? Would you stay safe in your home, or would you risk everything to save them? This is the story of Logan Miller, a teenager from Dickinson, Texas, who faced that choice during Hurricane Harvey. Armed with nothing but an air mattress and unyielding courage, Logan's actions left an entire town speechless. From daring rescues to an unexpected reward, this tale of bravery will grip your heart and inspire you to believe that one person can make a difference. Stick around until the end to discover how Logan's story changed lives forever, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that remind us of the power of human courage. The rain started softly, a gentle patter against the rooftops of Dickinson, Texas, before it turned into a relentless hammer. Logan Miller, a lanky 16-year-old with a mop of brown hair, stood at his bedroom window, watching the world outside blur into darkness. The streetlights flickered, their faint glow swallowed by the downpour. His hands gripped the windowsill, his knuckles white as the storm's ferocity grew. From the living room, the TV blared urgent weather reports. Hurricane Harvey's rainfall has reached historic levels. Flash floods expected. Residents are urged to seek higher ground immediately. The broadcaster's voice was tense, a stark contrast to the calm of Logan's modest two-story home. Logan turned to his mother, Emily, a nurse whose steady hands were now stuffing medical supplies into a worn backpack. Her face was a mask of focus, the kind she wore when lives depended on her. "You're going in, aren't you?" Logan asked, though he already knew the answer. Emily zipped her bag and knelt before him, her eyes soft but resolute. "The hospital needs me, Logan. People are scared. They need all the help they can get." He nodded, biting the inside of his cheek to keep his fear at bay. "If the water rises too high, get to the second floor. Do you understand?" she added, her voice firm. Logan nodded again, his chest tight with the weight of her words. Emily pulled him into a quick hug, whispering, "Sometimes it only takes one light to guide others through the dark." She kissed his forehead, grabbed her keys, and stepped out into the storm, leaving Logan alone. The house felt too big, too quiet, as the rain pounded harder. He wandered to the living room, where the TV flickered with images of flooded streets and desperate reporters. Shelters are at capacity. Emergency services are overwhelmed. Residents are urged to stay where they are until help arrives. Logan's stomach churned. His eyes landed on an air mattress in the corner, a relic from camping trips with his mom. Without knowing why, he pulled it out, inspecting it for leaks, his hands moving as if guided by instinct. The electricity flickered, then died, plunging the house into darkness. The silence was suffocating, broken only by the roar of the storm outside. Logan's flashlight beam danced across the room as he peered out the front window. The driveway was a river now, trash cans floating like lost ships. His phone buzzed, jolting him. "Logan, it's Micah," came his best friend's shaky voice. "The water's everywhere. Grandma and we can't get out." Logan's heart sank. Micah lived in a single-story house just a few streets away, a place notorious for flooding. "Hang on," Logan said, his voice steadier than he felt. "I'm coming." "No, Logan, it's too dangerous." Micah protested, but Logan was already pulling on his raincoat. He grabbed the air mattress, duct tape, and a flashlight, then stepped into the storm. The cold water hit his calves instantly, a shock that made his breath catch. Dragging the deflated mattress behind him, he waded forward, his mother's words echoing, "Be the light." The rain blinded him, the current tugged at his legs, but Logan pressed on, determined to reach his friend. The water was up to Logan's thighs by the time he reached Micah Street, now a shallow river of debris, branches, trash cans, even a plastic lawn chair bumping against him. The faint glow of Micah's porch light flickered like a dying ember. "Logan!" Micah's voice cut through the storm from a second-floor window. "We're up here." Logan shouted back, his voice nearly lost in the wind. He dragged the mattress up the porch steps, the water pooling around the door. Inside, the first floor was ankle-deep in floodwater, the air heavy with dampness. Micah met him at the door, his face pale. "Grandma's upstairs in her wheelchair. I tried to carry her, but the water came in too fast." Logan nodded, clutching the mattress. We'll use this. Upstairs, Grandma Lila sat calmly, her frail hands gripping her chair. Logan, she said softly, you shouldn't have come out in this storm, child. I couldn't leave you here, he replied, kneeling beside her. We'll get you out. I promise. Working quickly, Logan tied the mattress straps to the wheelchair with rope from the garage. The knots were rough but held. Micah, hold the flashlight and stay close, Logan instructed. The descent down the stairs was agonizingly slow, each step creaking under the weight. The water reached Logan's knees at the bottom, swirling dangerously. Outside, the flood was chest-high, the current stronger. Logan gripped the mattress, guiding it through the water, while Micah's flashlight beam cut through the darkness. Logan, watch out! Micah shouted as a wooden plank floated toward them. Logan shoved it away, his heart pounding. Grandma Lila's calm voice broke the tension. You're doing fine, Logan. Just keep going. After what felt like an eternity, they reached an abandoned porch above the waterline. Logan helped Grandma Lila out of her chair, and Micah collapsed beside her, breathless with relief. Thank you, Grandma Lila said, her hand on Logan's shoulder, her eyes heavy with gratitude. But Logan's gaze shifted back to the flooded street. A distant scream pierced the air, faint but desperate. Did you hear that? He asked, his pulse quickening. Micah nodded, his face pale. Someone's still out there. Logan tightened his grip on the mattress. Stay here with Grandma. I'll be back. Be careful, Logan, Micah called as Logan stepped back into the flood, the scream pulling him forward like a beacon. The rain was heavier now, each drop a cold sting against Logan's face. The scream came again, weaker, guiding him to a small, one-story house nearly submerged. The front door was barely above the waterline, and Logan's flashlight revealed no movement inside. Help! Over here, a faint voice called from within. Logan pushed against the door, his hands slipping on the wet wood. With a hard shove, it creaked open, revealing a flooded interior. In a back bedroom, an elderly woman, Mrs. Jeanette Turner, sat in a wheelchair, her hands gripping the armrests. I thought no one would come, she said, her voice trembling. Logan forced a reassuring smile. I'm here now. We'll get through this. The wheelchair was too heavy to carry, so he secured it to the air mattress with duct tape, the straps already fraying from the earlier rescue. The journey back was grueling. The water was shoulder deep, the current threatening to tip the mattress. A sharp crack startled Logan, a downed power line sparked dangerously close to the water. We'll go around, he said, steering Mrs. Turner away from the hazard. Debris swirled around them, and when a broken table leg grazed his shoulder, Logan barely flinched, his focus locked on keeping the mattress steady. You're doing wonderfully, Mrs. Turner said, her calm voice cutting through the chaos. Logan's legs burned, his flashlight flickering as the batteries weakened, but he pressed on. When they reached higher ground, he collapsed onto a porch, gasping. Mrs. Turner placed a hand on his shoulder. You're a brave boy. Thank you for coming back for me. Before Logan could catch his breath, a sharp bark echoed through the storm. A small dog clung to a piece of floating debris down the street. Another one, Logan muttered, shaking his head. Mrs. Turner smiled faintly. You're going after it, aren't you? I can't leave it out there, he said, already moving. The dog was shivering, its barks growing weaker. Logan waded out, scooping it onto the mattress and guiding it to safety. As he returned to the porch, Mrs. Turner's words lingered, the world needs more people like you. But the storm wasn't done. Another cry echoed from a nearby house, faint but urgent. Logan's body screamed for rest, but he tightened his grip on the mattress and stepped back into the flood. The water was chest-high now, the current a relentless force pulling at Logan's legs. His flashlight was nearly dead, but the faint light from a single-story house guided him. Inside, he found a family in desperate straits, Sarah, clutching her crying infant, and her husband, Tom, slumped against the wall with a broken leg. You came, Sarah said, her voice breaking with relief. Logan assessed the situation. The air mattress, battered and patched, couldn't hold them all. I'll take the baby first, he said. Sarah hesitated, her eyes filled with fear, but finally handed over the infant, wrapped in Logan's raincoat. The trip to higher ground was harrowing, the water threatening to sweep Logan away as he held the baby above his head. Mrs. Turner waited on the porch, taking the child with a look of awe. "You're doing more than anyone else out here," she said. Logan returned for Sarah and Tom, the water now up to Tom's chest. Helping Tom onto the mattress was agonizing, his broken leg made every movement painful. Sarah clung to Logan's arm as they waded through the flood, debris swirling around them. A car floated past, its headlights eerily glowing beneath the water. Logan's arms ached, his body numb from cold, but he pushed forward, driven by his promise to get them out. When they finally reached the porch, Sarah collapsed, sobbing with relief as she reunited with her baby. Tom gripped Logan's hand, his voice hoarse. "You saved us. I don't know how to thank you." Logan managed a tired smile, too exhausted to speak. As dawn broke, the rain began to slow, and rescue boats finally appeared. Emergency workers took over, ferrying Logan, Micah, Grandma Lila, Mrs. Turner, Sarah, Tom, the baby, and the dog to safety. Word of Logan's rescue spread through Dickinson like wildfire. The town, battered by the storm, rallied around the teenager who had risked everything. Weeks later, at a community gathering, the mayor called Logan to the stage. The crowd erupted in applause as he was presented with a key to the city and a scholarship fund raised by grateful residents. Mrs. Turner, now safe in a new home, spoke through tears, "Logan was our light in the darkness. He showed us what courage looks like." Sarah and Tom named their baby Logan in his honor, and the dog, now adopted by Micah's family, wagged its tail at his side. Logan stood quietly, overwhelmed. He hadn't sought recognition, only to help those in need. As he looked out at the faces of those he'd saved, his mother's words echoed, "Sometimes it only takes one light." Logan Miller's story reminds us that heroism doesn't require a cape or superpowers, just a heart willing to act, even in the face of fear. His courage during Hurricane Harvey saved lives and inspired a town to come together. What would you do in a moment of crisis? Let Logan's story be a call to find your own light, to step up when others need you most. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever witnessed or been part of an